Elon Musk is a real-life Iron Man. He's a billionaire, genius techno nerd, creator of PayPal, self-driving cars, and reusable rocket ships. Recently, he had an interview with the BBC where he demolished, embarrassed, crucified the reporter. Check this out.
What hate speech are you talking about? I mean, you use Twitter.
Right.
Do you see a rise in hate speech?
I mean,
But just a personal anecdote. Like, what do you? I don't.
personally, my for you, I would see I get more of that kind of content. Yeah, personally. But I'm not going to talk to the rest of for the rest of Twitter.
So you
But
see more
personally,
hate speech personally.
I would say I would see more hateful content in that.
Content you don't like or hateful? What do you mean to describe a hateful thing?
Yeah, I mean, just content that will solicit a reaction, something that may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist, those kinds of things.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
No,
Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm
Well,
saying.
I'm just curious. I'm trying to understand what you mean by hateful content. And I'm asking for specific examples. And you just said that if something is slightly sexist, that's hateful content. Does that mean that it should be banned?
Well, you've asked me whether my feed, whether it's got less or more. I'd say it's got slightly more.
That's why I'm asking for examples.
Right.
Can you name one example?
I honestly don't use. Honestly, I
You
don't.
can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why. Because I don't actually use that for you feed anymore. Because I just don't particularly like it.
But you
And
said
actually,
you-
a lot of people are quite similar. I only look at
hang on a second.
following.
You said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example, not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks. And
Well, then how did you see that hateful content?
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so then you must have at some point seen you hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
And you can't give a single one.
And I'm saying
I say, sir, that you don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Yes, because you can't give me a single example of hateful content, not even one tweet. And yet you claimed that the hateful content was high.
Well,
that's false.
no. What I claimed,
just lied.
What I claimed was there are many organizations that say that kind of information is on the rise. Now, whether it has on my
Give me
feed
one
or
example.
not, I mean, right, and
Literally
if you
can't
look at
name
something
one.
like the Strategic Dialogue Institute in the UK, they will say that. So
Look, people will say all sorts of nonsense. I'm literally asking for a
Right.
single example, and you can't name one.
right, and as I already said, I don't use that feed. But
Well, then how would you know that?
I don't think this is getting anywhere.
You literally said you experienced more hateful content, and then couldn't name a single example.
Right, and as I said,
That's absurd.
I haven't actually looked at that feed.
Then how
say,
would you
for a
know there's
few
hateful
weeks.
content?
Because I'm saying that's what I saw a few weeks ago. I can't give you an exact example. Let's move on. We only have a certain amount of time.
Wow.
COVID misinformation.
Yo, I could not stop laughing when I saw that clip. Let me tell you something. I've never seen somebody call somebody else a liar as respectfully as Elon Musk just did. I say, sir, you don't know what you're talking about. That's a false. Yo, he was so proper and so polite. He called him a liar politely. I've never seen anything like it. But listen, man, on a serious note, this is the problem with today's verbiage. We have these buzzwords going around, and if you dig into them at all, they crumble under the weight of logic. This man is ready to call any speech that he disagrees with hate speech. He brings up earlier in the clip, which I didn't play here, the fact that Twitter allowed Andrew Tate and Donald Trump to come back and criticize them and others of producing hate speech. Elon asked for one example. Just give me one example of some hate speech you've seen, and he's unable to provide one example. Why? Because hate speech is just a buzzword, just like these other buzzwords. CRT, critical race theory. If you ask somebody who's talking about critical race theory in school to give an example of CRT being taught in school, they will not be able to give you one example, because all that's being taught in school is history. It's not CRT. It's not critical race theory meant to make white kids feel bad about themselves. It's the history of America. If the fact that slavery happened in America and Jim Crow happened in America and race riots or, Rosewood and Tulsa, Oklahoma, the fact that our industries and our successful towns were burned down with the help of the United States government, if that makes white kids feel bad, that's not critical race theory. That's just the history of America. When you put these buzzwords in to try to flame emotions, when you examine these buzzwords, they'll fall with just the simplest of questions. Another example, when people say, "Oh, what is a woman?" It's not a difficult question. It's not a difficult question. A woman is a adult female with XY chromosomes. Excuse me, XX chromosomes. If you're an adult female with XX chromosomes, you are a woman. It's just that simple. It's really not that complicated. But we use these buzzwords in order to get people to join our side. Oh, he said CRT. He's against CRT. That means he's on my group. But if you ask them, what does CRT mean? Can you give an example? They'll fail. Oh no, we have to ban Andrew Tate. We have to ban Trump because they use hate speech. Can you give one example? They cannot. Because that just means if you are against hate speech these days, it just means you're pro-censorship. I'm not pro-censorship. If I disagree with you, I want you to say it loud, say it proud, say it with your chest so I can see your videos, I can hear what you think, and I can debate you and bring alternative facts, counter arguments to prove that you're wrong. That's how it should be. We cannot relinquish our right to free speech in exchange for censorship because of what someone is saying is making us feel bad. Our feelings need to be protected over our rights. No, it's a dangerous, slippery slope when you sacrifice your rights and your freedom for safety and security. And that's what you're basically asking for when you push censorship to protect your feelings. And like I said, I give you an example of CRT. I give you an example of them pushing censorship against hate speech. I give you an example of woke. Stay woke. What does woke mean? Excuse me. Nobody seems to know. Nobody seems to know. I played that clip before of Brianna Gray Joy asking the woman, what does woke mean? And she got stuck. These are just buzzwords. They're divisive and they're dog whistles to whatever side you're on. And when people start to use these words, we need to get into the habit of calling them out. Ask for an example. Ask for a definition. Don't just let these words be used willy-nilly with no type of scrutiny. I am against censorship, as you should be too. Peace. So you made it all the way to the end of the video, but you haven't hit the like button yet. Come on now. You're cheating me, you're cheating yourself. Go ahead, hit the like button. And while you're at it, you might as well smash the subscribe button so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. I make a video every day, a different topic, a different subject. They're all interesting, so you can check them all out by hitting the subscribe button and setting your notifications to all so you get an alert when I drop a video. There you go.